I got some great advice as a young attorney. I was in Chicago, working in my Kirkland Ellis days, the largest law firm in the world. It was not a fun place to work. I will spoiler alert. But I spent about 5 years, and I had a partner there that kind of took me under. He took me under his wing, and he used to talk about break points in life. And he gave me some mentorship where he said, Greg, don't take any jobs. The jump to $100,000 of revenue to $250,000 of revenue doesn't change your life at all. Believe it or not, the next jump to 500,000 doesn't change your lifestyle. And people are like, well, that's not true at all. But the way he explained it was like, listen, Greg, you may go to a nicer hotel. You may have a little bit nicer car. Your house may be on a little bit different neighborhood. But this isn't like life change. You're not flying on a private jet. You don't have extra people around the house running around. And his point being, I guess what I'm talking to everybody here is there are points in life where essentially don't take on a lot more work if it doesn't get you to a different part of life. He's like, why would you, work twice as much to make an extra X dollars if it doesn't really change your life? And I guess I think about that when I see these studies, because at the end of the day, for 90% of Americans, you're sitting there saying to yourself, all right, I like the same stuff. And at the bottom threshold, let's say it's $500,000, they're doing the same stuff that the $3 million person is doing. And that's why people aren't running out of money, because it doesn't cost a lot of money to go to the local, obviously, restaurant on Thursdays and spend $50 on a dinner. That's the reality, is that they're not out there buying watches and sports cars and going down the French Riviera in the Midwest Ohio, right? Like there isn't opportunities to burn through cash in a way that would be different based on different earning parameters. And I'm sharing this because you're saying, Greg, well, what does that mean in terms of savings? I'm not saying don't save your money. I'm saying don't be afraid to spend it. That's really where I'm going with this. You don't run out of money in retirement. You run out of time. And this study shows it again, like, oh my gosh, only 10%. Because I thought everybody had $1 million the way you turn on the financial shows, right? You got to have 1.8. Susie Orman said you have to have 3 million. Kevin O'Leary said 5 million. BlackRock said 1.8 million. All of these people are making up these magic numbers, but you're like, 90% of people don't make it. So are they all on the side of the road? Do they have to sell their house and downgrade? No, it's all a lie. And if you connect the dots here, it's very clear why it's a lie. They're trying to scare you into not spending your money so that they can get higher fees off your money. They're charging a percentage. So they want to scare you into taking on more risk than you need. And obviously keep your money in the market longer than you need. And then don't spend it, because if you spend it, the amount of money in your accounts goes down and they make less money. So these are the triggers that are driving all of these falsehoods being, pumped into the internet, into the radios, into the TV shows by obviously the Kevins, the Susie Ormans, the BlackRocks of the world, where they're saying you're going to run out of money. You need all this stuff. But yet there's only 9 out of 10 of you don't have that. But do 9 out of 10 retirees look unhappy? Have you ever gone to a happy hour in any town you live in? They are having the time of their life. A lot of coladas, fish bowls, blooming onions. They're down in Florida playing pickleball. They do not look destitute, Randy. They're not sitting there, clipping coupons, wondering where the next meal is going to come from. The habits of a retiree, depending on the age, and we know you spend less the longer you're in retirement, you're between 60 and 100,000 of annual spending. And 100,000 is a lot. Very few people spend that much every year in retirement, or maybe the first year or two. But after that, you're getting right under the average of 60. And oh, by the way, Social Security is almost 60, or maybe more than 60. So you're breaking even before even touching your $1 million IRA, just through your Social Security or your pensions. Obviously, Tim and I were estate planning attorneys, and I would hear this fear of running out of money. And I'm like, what are they talking about? I've met them 3 years in a row, and their account values are going up. Like, what are they talking about, running out of money? It's like their biggest fear. It's because it's out there. Everyone's talking about it all the time. And when I said, well, all right, let me help, how can I? And when we started to build Golden Reserve, I said, I got to talk people out of this. I got to wake them up. I got to turn off, stop hitting the, get them out of this trance. So what I did is I built the income tent, Randy. And the income tent basically says, all right, let's say you spent the same amount of money you did last year. You received the same amount last year. Let's put a little inflation in there. Let's put a conservative return, let's say 5%. And let's push it out 25 years. And let's see what's left. And it works, because people are like, what? I have $1.2 million in 25 years? Yes. They're like, we're going on that trip next year. Instantly, you get those kind of comments, and I just want to cry tears of joy. That's a whole idea, that every year you're showing them how much they would have in 25 years with very, very conservative returns and very, very little risk. And now they understand, oh my gosh, I can enjoy my money. And each year we update it, they get to see it, Randy. They get to keep seeing this income updated every year. And it inspires them to go do that extra trip, that trip to Hawaii, the Alaskan cruise, the Mediterranean cruise. They could buy the dream car, go down to Florida for an extra month, a couple extra dinners with friends during the, obviously, the cold season. These are the things that we want because that's what retirement's about. It's about enjoying what you work for.